In the pursuit of love, who among us has never found ourselves lost in an emotional labyrinth, feverishly sliding in the hope of a connection that makes us feel complete? Hope and disillusionment drag us like waves on the shores of our lives. And of course, the disappointment of those moments when the love we seek seems to fade right before our eyes, making us doubt whether we are searching for something we may never truly grasp. Today, I want to share a different, wiser perspective on love, one that doesn't get trapped in cycles of waiting for text messages. This is a vision I discovered within myself, ready to be explored through philosophy, especially Stoicism. In Stoicism, I found guidelines to understand why this desperate search for love can be a path filled with obstacles and sufferings. This philosophy values self-discipline, authenticity, and self-reflection. By practicing the teachings of the Stoics, I learned to look within myself, instead of seeking external validation or solutions to my self-esteem and confidence issues. I discovered that love, in its most authentic form, is not found in another person, but within myself. And it is this perspective that I wish to share with you today. Naturally, we all desire love and want to feel loved in our lives. The illusion that love is the magical solution to all our problems is a conviction driven by societal standards, which pressures us to have someone special as a constant in our lives, as we see in movies, television, and social networks. However, even in romantic relationships, difficulties persist, and idealized expectations can lead to disillusionments. We may find ourselves seeking love even while in a relationship. As the Stoics teach us, what disturbs us is not reality, but our opinions and expectations about it. The illusion of love as a solution to our problems makes us believe that another person can be responsible for our happiness. Yet, as Epicurus wisely said, "Do not seek that things should happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and your life will flow well." True Stoic wisdom reminds us that love is a valuable component in our lives, but it is not the answer to all our dilemmas or conflicts. True happiness comes from personal discipline, authenticity, and self-reflection. Almost all of us experience the physical present, but mentally we are locked in the past or worried about the future. Practicing life in the present is like returning here and now, paying attention to where life really happens. The present moment is a valuable gift that we often underestimate and devalue. We cannot change the past and the future is uncertain, but in the present, here and now, we can act and make decisions. Practicing presence allows us to enjoy every moment of our lives to the fullest, even the small pleasures. Life in the present enriches our experience. Food tastes better, laughter is more sincere, and moments become invaluable. The importance of living in the present is obvious. In our relationships and in the search for true love, how can we build meaningful connections if our minds are elsewhere? Living in the present means being strong in the face of daily challenges and authentic in every interaction. In short, the undeniable impulse to live in the present becomes obvious as we continue to seek love. Remember that happiness is not in the past or the future, but in the richness of the present. Have you ever felt trapped in a recurring dynamic in your relationships? Perhaps you've wondered why you can't find love, or why your relationships ended even when you did everything right. On this journey of self-knowledge, I want to talk about the value of personal growth and how it can change your perspective in the pursuit of love. We often seek love in another person, believing that they will complete our lives. However, as the Stoics remind us, no one is free until they have freed themselves. The path of personal growth is a path of strength, overcoming obstacles. As Seneca said, "There is no favorable wind for the sailor who does not know where he is going." The importance of personal growth becomes obvious when we face our fears, take risks, and choose the difficult path. We can overcome fears, accept imperfections, and build relationships based on authenticity and effective communication. Let's talk about a powerful tool that can completely change your approach in the pursuit of love. Reflection is fundamental on the path to true love. It's not about staying silent with an empty mind, but about diving deep into your emotions. This is a conscious analysis that allows you to explore your inner self in search of answers. By examining your thoughts and emotions, you can discover harmful patterns that repeat in your relationships. Self-reflection helps you confront these harmful patterns, delve into the roots of your fears and concerns, and understand why they persist. The magic of self-analysis lies not only in identifying problems, but in providing tools for effecting change. You can work on your weaknesses, develop your strengths, and improve your relationships. Reflection is the compass that leads you to healthier relationships. As you get to know yourself better, you become more aware of what you want in a partner and what you are willing to contribute to a relationship. As Marcus Aurelius said, invest your heart, mind, and soul even in your smallest actions. That is the secret of success. Enjoy the tranquility that follows self-reflection. It's not just work, it's a path to inner peace and more authentic relationships. Being a person from a Stoic viewpoint means embracing the value of personal growth, developing unwavering discipline and resilience. This teaches us that being well is not about the constant pursuit of improvements and growth, but about the internal search for what we already have within us. When we seek love from a place of inner strength and self-improvement, we create stronger and more meaningful relationships. The need to be accepted, loved, and recognized is a reality in the society we live in, driven by social pressure, entertainment, and external expectations. We learn that to be loved, we first must meet certain standards of beauty, stature, behavior, and even success. Social expectations lead us to a relentless search for love, often overlooking something vital within us: self-respect. From a Stoic viewpoint, self-confidence becomes the foundation of inner peace. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wisely expressed, "Life is short, and we all carry what we carry equally. Whoever has more is the one who is happier with what they have." This reflection leads us to a crucial moment on this path. Often, our desperate searches for love and external acceptance distance us from serenity, constantly comparing ourselves with others, leading us to seek unattainable standards and filling us with anxiety because we are not good enough. Self-awareness, according to the Stoics, is an act of accepting oneself with all our virtues and flaws. It frees us from the need for external validation and the pursuit of peace and self-control in a world obsessed with comparisons and the constant search for more. Stoic philosophy offers us to find richness by accepting what we already have. Self-awareness allows us to fully enjoy life. As Seneca's quote reminds us, "Find deep reflections." In the search for love, we often forget the importance of being happy with who we are now. This phrase reminds us that true wealth cannot be found in recognition and acceptance by others or in material possessions. True wealth lies in the satisfaction with our authenticity and living in harmony with oneself. By accepting ourselves, we release the emotional burden of external verification. This is essential to understand why we should not seek love, but seek self-confidence before seeking external recognition. Self-affirmation is not a denial of personal improvement, but a solid foundation for it. By accepting our imperfections, we realize that true love does not require perfection. Self-awareness allows us to be vulnerable, communicate sincerely, and build relationships based on authenticity. As Marcus Aurelius said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without worries." This makes us unique. Instead, Stoicism invites us to focus on our actions, be the best version of ourselves, and develop relationships based on sincerity and mutual respect. Understanding that external acceptance is not the key to happiness frees us from the need to anxiously seek love. Instead, we find inner peace and tranquility that allow us to appreciate relationships in their broader context. Emotional dependence, from a Stoic point of view, is a behavior pattern we should avoid. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, we should be ready to change our habits if we consider ourselves dependent. Independence is a reflection of self-respect and self-esteem. When we are committed to our passions, projects, and personal growth, we become more attractive to potential partners. Independence means not isolating oneself from others, but finding a balance. You can enjoy the company of others without losing your emotional autonomy. Independence is an act of self-love and self-respect. In the pursuit of love, maintaining your independence is crucial. If you are a complete person on your own, do not seek love as a solution to your insecurity. From a masculine point of view, independence is a demonstration of strength and self-control. As Cicero said, "True freedom is the independence of the mind." This statement incites us to deeply reflect on what it means to have an independent mind and to master our will. As Stoics, we work to free ourselves from emotional slavery, to own our minds and ultimately, our destiny. Living to maintain emotional independence from a Stoic perspective, I present two main practices in our search for love: meditation and mindfulness. Meditation becomes a powerful tool for maintaining emotional independence. From the standpoint of meditation, it helps us find balance in the turbulent waters of relationships, teaching us to be present in the moment, observing our thoughts and emotions without being consumed by them. As Seneca advised, meditation teaches us to manage emotions and find tranquility in the midst of chaos. Stoics believe that meditation allows us to realize that our emotional reactions are automatic and that we have the power to choose how to react. As Stoics, this gives us a profound sense of control over our emotions and actions. Mindfulness is another important practice in the search for true love from a Stoic perspective. Mindfulness allows us to maintain emotional independence, being fully present in our relationships, including actively listening, being present in conversations, and being aware of our emotional reactions. Self-mastery is achieved through mindfulness. This practice allows us to recognize our emotions automatically instead of reacting impulsively. Making conscious choices from a Stoic standpoint, these two practices, meditation and mindfulness, are fundamental for maintaining emotional independence and not seeking a love that ultimately may bring us more pain. From a Stoic and masculine perspective, these practices provide self-control, tranquility, and the mental clarity needed to resolve emotional issues and make conscious decisions in our relationships. In summary, the importance of maintaining your independence should not be underestimated. You should not seek love to fill your gaps. Instead, you should find someone who values your independence and complements your life. Communication is the cornerstone of our relationships. However, sometimes we find ourselves in a whirlwind of misunderstandings, meaningless discussions, and empty words. Words can create or destroy, and from the Stoic and wisdom perspective, we will explore why effective communication is so important for improving our relationships. Stoics teach us that effective communication is the art of listening more than speaking, understanding more than imposing opinions. As Epicurus said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can hear twice as much as we speak. From a Stoic perspective, effective communication implies authenticity in what we say and honesty in expressing our thoughts or opinions. It's not about saying what others want to hear, but about respectfully expressing your true intentions. Patience is the foundation of the Stoic approach in the search for true love. Stoics teach us that love is not something we can force or rush. Instead of desperately seeking love, we show patience, knowing that time is our ally, cultivating wisdom in us. From a Stoic perspective, patience also allows us to develop inner strength to withstand loneliness and rejection. Patience reminds us that true love is a process that is not regulated by a calendar. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Nothing happens to the one who cannot endure the same happens with other people," and they support the development of Stoic pillars of patience and compassion. This highlights the importance of patience and compassion in the search for true love from a philosophical perspective. Effective communication strengthens our relationships and brings us closer to true love. It allows us to be vulnerable and share our desires, fears, and dreams. According to Macarius, all victories are in trying to please everyone. From a Stoic perspective, this is an invitation to reflect on how the search for love and approval from others can cause even more pain. In our desire to please everyone, we often end up sacrificing our authenticity and our own needs. Stoics teach us that instead of seeking external recognition, we should focus on strengthening our inner strength and finding love within ourselves. The relentless pursuit of love can lead to relationships based on unrealistic expectations and often leads to contempt. Stoics remind us that we cannot control the emotions, decisions, and actions of others, but we can control how we react to them. The desperate search for love can become a cycle of disappointments because attempts to please everyone often make us lose sight of what is really important to us. Stoic philosophy teaches that true emotional wealth comes from authenticity, patience, and understanding our own needs and those of the people around us. So instead of trying to please everyone in the pursuit of love, let's focus on delighting ourselves by being authentic and building relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. The key to unlocking true and meaningful love that blossoms from within and is not desperately sought from outside. In the modern world, it is common to see people trying to adapt to predetermined social roles, acting artificially, and hiding their true essence behind a social mask. But what happens when you let go of that mask and embrace authenticity? Stoics teach us that authenticity is the path to freedom. In the words of no one is free if they are not master of themselves. True freedom lies in being oneself, without fear of judgment. Authenticity allows us to free ourselves from the burden of satisfying others and live according to our own principles. In a society that often makes us seek love through external approval, authenticity becomes our guiding star. From a Stoic perspective, this leads us to deeper and more meaningful relationships when we are authentic. People who value us for our true essence, not for a fictitious version of ourselves. Authenticity also gives us the strength to face challenges with dignity. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Nothing can expand the mind so much as the ability to systematically and sincerely investigate everything that happens in the universe." Our reflections on our actions, reactions, and emotions. This practice allows us to identify patterns and understand what motivates us. Exploring our values is a fundamental part of self-analysis. This allows us to recognize these reactions and choose responses that are more conscious and aligned with our values. A useful exercise from a Stoic standpoint is keeping a gratitude journal, recording what we value and what makes us authentic. This connects us with our true essence and teaches us. The journey is not always lonely. Seeking guidance from a mentor or therapist can provide invaluable guidance on this path of self-knowledge. Self-awareness makes us more confident in our actions and relationships. In the words of Epicurus, first tell yourself what kind of person you want to be, and then act accordingly. Taking the next step, don't forget to subscribe and activate the alert signal. I sincerely hope this message has been helpful to you. I want to congratulate you for coming this far and finishing the video, which means you want to improve yourself as a person. If you liked the video, leave your comment. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and join us. Thank you for your attention. Until next time.